Canadians are being forced into a conversation about the sensitive topic of abortion. And not because of anything that's happening in our own country. We're being forced into this because of what's happening in the United States, where the Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade, and Canadians, because of how much American media we consume, how much attention we pay to American politics, we're kind of being forced to have this debate to some degree in our country too. I think we got to ask ourselves, what type of conversation do we want to have? Is it one where we respect the fact that people are going to come from different perspectives and try to overcome divisions so that we might find some common ground on something that is so deeply personal for so many? Or do we find a lack of balance and start to mirror the rhetoric of the United States? Unfortunately, our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is having the opposite of the impact I think most Canadians would like. He wants to import the American culture wars and treat those who disagree with him as if they are bad people, as if they are enemies, as if they are opponents that he must vilify. It's unfortunate, but he is bringing this approach to even his policy making. Prime Minister Trudeau has pledged to take away the charitable status of organizations that disagree with him on abortion. Crisis pregnancy centers and other groups that he deems to be anti-abortion may lose their charitable status, their ability to issue a tax receipt when receiving a donation, which will, in effect, destroy many of these organizations. And he's got to be really careful about this. You know, there's a part of the American culture wars that is having a real ugly side right now. And he risks inciting the same type of harassment, vandalism, and arson against crisis pregnancy centers in Canada that we're seeing in the United States. By vilifying these organizations, he is putting people at risk. In the United States right now, the Wall Street Journal has documented dozens of examples where over the last few weeks alone, crisis pregnancy centers have been attacked. One of the most notable instances was in Buffalo, New York, very close to the Canadian border, where a crisis pregnancy center was lit on fire. It's difficult stuff. It's scary for many people who work in these organizations. And that is why vilifying them in the way that Trudeau has is concerning to many. We've seen even just since Friday, when the decision was made public by the Supreme Court, the New York Post is also reporting attacks over the weekend in Colorado. There's one particular group called Jane's Revenge that is going after these organizations and spray painting a slogan that says, "If abortion isn't safe, neither are you." That's a threat. Now, the other part of Trudeau's framing on this issue is to behave as though all women perceive abortion in the exact same way. He treats women as a monolith, as if this diverse group of people who make up over half of the human population couldn't possibly have different points of view than him. And we know that's not true. It's not true in the United States, where 60% of women, according to Gallup polling data, believe abortion should be illegal in some or in all circumstances. It's not true in Canada either, where we literally just saw a few days ago, over 300 prominent women sign a letter saying that they oppose abortion and would support the overturning of Roe v. Wade. These are prominent Canadian women in public life with important jobs and critical roles in our democracy. And we've seen even Canadian conservative leadership candidate, Leslyn Lewis, the first Black woman to run to be leader of a political party at the federal level, is saying the Prime Minister's approach is wrong and she's asking for an adult conversation. Well, I agree with her. I don't come into this with a judgmental attitude toward people who view this issue one way or the other. To be honest with you, I've seen personally, I've seen professionally, how complicated this is. And that's why it really bothers me when people vilify those on the other side of what is such an important and sensitive debate, an important and sensitive dialogue. It deserves better. It deserves an adult conversation. and we cannot follow the example of Prime Minister Trudeau.